Shmuel Shohat, shalom.
Shalom.
And welcome to CultureBuzz.
Thank you.
Shmuel, we are sitting here at the Simta Theater in Jaffa after a brilliant performance by your Dybbuk.
Yes.
How do you say it in English? The Possessed.
The possession.
The possession.
Well, the Exorcist, is a bit.
And this is a classical. This is a masterpiece by Ansky.
Yes.
Going back almost 100 years ago.
Yes, it is.
And you took it very courageously.
Thank you.
With all your talent, or should I say talents, and turned it into Fringe. And not only that, you were asked by the mainstream theater,
yes,
the National Theater of Israel, Abima, to come and present it there.
Yes.
This is a wonderful achievement.
Thank you. Well, actually, if you think of it, the Dybbuk itself is Fringe. The play itself started as a counteract to the beginning of enlightenment in Jewish thinking and the beginning of modern Judaism and the new Jews in the beginning of the at the end of the 19th, beginning of the 20th century, were finding themselves going towards being a modern man, a modern Jew, and yet they feared losing the tradition and their roots and their culture. So they went back to Europe to collect it, and they've put it together into a play which was actually Fringe, because they've performed it in German expressionism, and they've performed it in Hebrew in Moscow, which was as Fringe as it can get. It was a dead language. They were very young and not very professional actors, and they've managed to produce such a success that they've made enough money to travel abroad and to come back to Israel, not to come back, but to come to Israel.
Even before there was Israel?
Before there was Israel, to Palestine actually, and to build what will be eventually the National Theater.
Chana Robina,
and Meskin and Bertonov, and
the pillars of modern Israeli theater.
Indeed. And again, this mainstream theater was actually a Fringe theater when it began.
Interesting.
So not
Fringe became mainstream.
Indeed.
And the mainstream went back to its roots by calling you Shmulik.
Yes.
And inviting your Dybbuk.
Yes. And actually in the play itself there is this theme of rebellion. The young lovers who rebel against their father and tradition and the society, and instead of marrying whomever the father designated, they go and decide to fall in love with each other, and of course they pay a price, but so does society by losing them.
Shmulik, I think if I had to describe you after reading a bit about you, you are a Renaissance man. You are doing almost everything.
Yes.
Not only writing, directing, puppeteering. Amazing.
Thank you. I do nothing by my own.
With the help of others.
With the enormous help of the giants I'm climbing on their shoulders, as Newton said. I have with this play, I have a brilliant play filled with interesting ideas and themes. It's horror and romance bind together, and in this play I've took great inspiration from Tim Burton with the puppets and design. Interesting story is that one of the main inspiration sources I've used was Ghost Bride or Corpse Bride by Tim Burton.
By Tim Burton.
Yes, and after that I read an interview in which he says that one of his sources of inspiration to do this movie was an old Jewish ghost story.
So the circle was
the
closed.
circle, yes, indeed.
Interesting. By the way, the stage arrangement is brilliant.
Thank you again. It's
minimalistic,
yes,
but still very rich.
It's my variation on the Tzaddik's table in the original play, and it draws from German Expressionism, the Caligari cabinet and Nosferatu and other German Expressionism pieces of art, and I was trying to find, because it's a puppet show, well, with puppets at least, so I was trying to find an object that will both be a practical object in order to provide hiding for the actors, and be a metaphor for the things that happen on stage.
Very practical also.
Yes.
Very, very
Yes.
practical. It was a full house today.
Yes.
And the audience reacted as we could have expected. You got a standing ovation as you deserve. We counted 3 actors and 6 puppets.
Yes.
And the way they communicate,
Well,
there are no words to describe it. I mean, it looks so genuine. It looks so natural.
it's a lot of work. I'm lucky to work with the most wonderful actors.
Maybe this is the time to mention them by names.
Yes, indeed. There is Yaron Sancho Goshen, who is playing Sendel, the father of the bride, and he is an amazing actor, an amazing storyteller, and he manipulates puppets in a virtuose way.
Brings them into life.
Truly does. And Nimrod Eisenberg, who is he is a graduate from La Coque School of Theatre, and he is a very physical actor, and as you could see, he's amazing. His body does things that I could never imagine.
You can join, according to what we have seen, Cirque du Soleil.
Indeed he could. And
Hannah Robina?
And Miri Kiermaier, who is the actress that you saw today, who is again amazing, has such a passion, so much passion,
and a good singer too.
And a good singer. So, and all of them, they're all medical clowns. So their attitude towards both life and death, and towards sadness and happiness and joy, it comes to be on stage.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Brilliant. Dybbuk took you to several countries,
yes,
all over the world.
Indeed.
How was it received?
It was an amazing experience to see people from all over the world, whether it's the United States, where we've performed in San Francisco in the Jewish Museum, in front of a Jewish, well, not Jewish, but Jewish related.
In Hebrew?
We perform in Hebrew with subtitles in the language of wherever we perform.
Yeah.
We've performed in Moscow, and again in San Francisco we got great reviews and standing ovations, and it was amazing.
Moscow is interesting. Talking about, again, closing a circle.
Closing a circle, indeed.
How did it feel to you? How did it feel for you?
It was great. The audience received it very well, and they were very excited to have this play there. Afterwards we've been in Dresden and in Berlin. Again, in Dresden we've performed in a Jewish festival, and in Berlin we've performed in the Jewish theater. In both places we've been seen by both Jews and non-Jews. There's something very appealing and human in this play and in the show itself. The combination between love and death, and actually love that overcomes death.
A bit spooky.
Spooky is good.
What can we wish at Dybbuk? What can we wish Shmuel Shohat?
Well, first of all, I wish that our experience abroad will continue and be delightful as it was. We've been now in China in the Unima, very prestigious international Unima festival.
Great.
Which is it's like the 8 Puppets Olympics.
Olympics.
Every 4 years in a
Right.
different country, and puppet groups from all over the world.
It's funny because we are conducting this interview during the London Olympics.
Indeed. And soon we'll be going to, God's will, we'll go to the States again to perform in the Maryland University and in the Connecticut University. So I hope this tour in the East Coast will go according to plan, and I hope we'll have many others, many more.
Excellent. Shmuel Shohat, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Like the play itself.
Thank you very
We
much.
want to thank you and wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you very
תודה
much.
רבה. שלום שלום.
Shalom.